on DC News Now at 4.
After 4 days of sitting on top of Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge, supporters have now come out to rally in solidarity with Guido Reichstatter. We spoke with him on the phone as well when he says he plans to come down.
An act of bravery now being recognized.
The bravery that we're seeing, it's something we really need to talk about a lot more.
The 2 guardsmen being honored for their actions in the November shooting of 2 other guardsmen. Then getting warmer tomorrow, meteorologist Damon Matson is with us with just how warm it will get. And it's Teacher Appreciation Week, how one mom is stretching your dollar with flashy gifts that don't break the bank.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And good afternoon. I'm Annalisa Gale. Well, the man who scaled the top of the Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge in Southeast Washington now entering day 4 of his standoff with police. Guido Reichstatter is demanding an end to the war with Iran and the spread of AI.
DC News Now's Liberty Simmons is live at the bridge this afternoon. Liberty, the question everyone wants to know, when is he expected to come down?
Exactly, Mark and Annalisa. Well, I spoke with Guido today, and he has a tent up there as well as a way to charge his phone. So he says, even though he doesn't have water up there, he can stay there for at least another day or 2. And supporters came out here to rally in solidarity with Guido Reichstatter. You can see him there on top of the bridge with an unfurled black banner. There is a massive police presence here as well. Officers have been trying to negotiate with him to come down. We see several patrol cars, a patrol boat in the water, and a DC fire and EMS truck. Now, bridge traffic is back open, but officers are blocking pedestrian traffic in both directions. Now, some bystanders we spoke with say they agree with his causes, but not necessarily his method. Others told us it may cause some inconvenience or waste taxpayer dollars, but they weren't too bothered by it. Now, Guido has done this before, back in 2022, to protest the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Here's what he told us over the phone. Any concerns about when you do come down of you getting maybe stiffer penalties from officers here now that you've done this a second time?
Whatever happens to me, that doesn't really matter, you know. The important thing, as I see it, is that we have a responsibility to end this war.
Now, we also did reach out to MPD about what charges he could face when he does come down. We are still waiting to hear back, but coming up in the next hour, hear what his supporters had to say to those who believe that this protest is a disruption. For now, live here in Southeast DC, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
All right, Liberty, thank you so very much. Well, new this afternoon, we're learning more about the alleged White House correspondent Denner's gunman's time in jail over the last week. A judge today holding a hearing in Cole Allen's case, accused of trying to assassinate the president.
Yeah, his defense says he's been subject to near 24 hours a day solitary confinement, at times under suicide watch as well, even though jail medics didn't find him to be at risk. DC News Now's Randy Bass was in the courtroom today as this all went before a judge. Randy, what are you learning?
Yes, this judge today went as far as apologizing to Cole Allen during his hearing at the DC courthouse here today over the alleged conditions he's been living in at the DC jail for the last week since his arrest and charges he's facing for attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. His defense say he's been on suicide watch at times in a padded safe cell on 24/7 security outside his door with the lights on, where he's strip searched when he does get to leave for about an hour a day, without access to phones to make legal calls, no access to his paperwork, a jail tablet, or a Bible that he's asked for. They say there's no record of a psychiatrist at the jail finding reason to place him on suicide watch or precautions, saying the jail only put him in extra restrictive custody because this is a high-profile case. Judge Zia Faruqi asked acting general counsel for the DC Department of Corrections, James Towns, why that is. He said there are records showing psychiatrists found reason to hold him there and that he's not been there long enough for the jail's housing board to decide where he should stay long term pending trial. Judge said he's seen convicted murderers with fewer restrictions than Allen, noting he does not have any prior criminal history. The judge also comparing his case to those of January 6th defendants where, quote, people got closer to killing the president who were kept in less restrictive conditions. He also said if Allen was not suicidal now, the conditions he's staying in could drive someone crazy, and that Allen is presumed innocent and is entitled to basic human decency. As for what's next in this case, the judge wants to hear by tomorrow morning from D.C. Department of Corrections on when exactly the Housing Board will decide what comes next for Allen, and if he's continued to be kept in those restrictive conditions, the judge wants to know why. In Northwest D.C., I'm Randy Bass, D.C. News Now.
All right, our thanks to Randy. Let's get over to meteorologist Damon Matson with a first look at our forecast.
Yeah, Damon, it has been an interesting weekend into Monday with the weather. I did not know what to wear today. I'm not going to lie. I was a little all over the place.
You said just off air before we got on here that the chill just was not fun.
Yes, it was chilly this morning, but now it's better.
Correct. We got the sunshine. It helped us out, and now we're feeling that warmth once again. You know, these first few days of May have certainly been a bit unusual with the chilly air. That wind on Sunday had a bite to it with the chill that was out there. But today, even though it is still a bit breezy, well, those winds have helped us warm up. And look at this. We are in the 70s, upper 70s at that, across the majority of the DMV. And Waldorf, we even have an 81-degree temperature reading there. So, yes, for sure, the warmth has made its return. We are significantly warmer than this time yesterday, 10 to even closer to 20 degrees warmer across just about every county in the DMV. So we will remain very comfortable as we head throughout the rest of the day. There will be a few more clouds in the sky, perhaps even a stray shower down towards central Virginia. But outside of that, the rest of us will remain dry and on the mild side of things as we head into the overnight hours. And that's something to note. We're not going to be getting as chilly tonight, so that sets the stage for another warm day tomorrow. Just how much more will these temperatures rise over the next day or so, and when should we be ready for the next round of wet weather to move in? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. In the district, a man is recovering after being shot near Nats Park. Police are now looking for two men who they say were running away after the shooting. This happened around 10 last night on Half Street in Southeast. The victim was shot in the leg and is expected to be okay. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police. And D.C. police releasing the latest crime numbers, and they show a decrease from last year. Assaults with dangerous weapon is actually up 32% from last year. Homicides have dropped more than 42%. 29 people have been killed this year compared to 50 last year. Violent crime is down 8%, while property crime has dropped 28%.
And right now, 9 people have been displaced after a fire in Montgomery County, Maryland. You could see the smoke coming out of that home in Rockville. Montgomery County Fire and Rescue saying this was an electrical fire, and they believe it started on the first floor of the home there. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. The Red Cross is now helping those that have been displaced.
An update on that deadly crash in Gaithersburg involving a ride-on bus. Police have now identified the victim as 59-year-old Alexander Norris. Investigators say that the ride-on bus and car collided early Friday morning at Mid-County Highway and Woodfield Road while the traffic lights were flashing. Norris died at the scene. A passenger in the car was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say that the investigation continues.
Also in Virginia right now, flags are at half-staff today in honor of Dr. Serena Fairfax. She was killed by her husband and former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax last month. Governor Abigail Spanberger saying the lowering of the flags is to honor all domestic violence victims. The flags will be at half-staff until sunset.
Well, we have new details this afternoon. The man said to be involved in last week's shooting at a Montgomery County high school will remain in jail. A judge made that decision a short time ago on 19-year-old Jabia Gambo. DC News Now's Dave LaBalle is live in Rockville. Dave, what did the judge choose to keep him in custody, or why did he choose to keep him in custody?
Good afternoon to you, Mark. District Judge Amy Bill said she's concerned by the most serious charge against Gambo, that he pointed a gun, a loaded gun, at someone. Court documents say the 19-year-old went to Blake High School last week to pick up a friend and then go smoke marijuana together. A fight had taken place in the parking lot between several students. A 17-year-old pulled out a gun and it fired and wounded him. It's still not clear, according to authorities, if that person shot himself. Court records say Gambo then picked up the gun, pointed it at a school security officer who ordered him to drop it. Gambo is said to have told the officer, quote, "Back up, back up." Gambo dropped the gun after a Montgomery County Sheriff's officer arrived and told him to do so. State's Attorney John McCarthy spoke to reporters after today's hearing.
I think the fact that a gun is on school property is terrifying. The fact that it was picked up and allegedly pointed at another individual, and I think those are terrifying facts. The mere presence is terrifying. The fact that it's pointed at another human being on school property, that is a frightening situation.
Gambo returns to court May 29th for preliminary hearing. He could spend up to 25 years in prison if he's convicted of the most serious charge against him. We're live in Rockville, Maryland. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you. In case you forgot, it's May 4th, also known as Star Wars Day. And today in D.C., characters from the franchise visited Johns Hopkins Children's Center for a May the 4th Be With You celebration. Volunteers from the 501st Legion dressed up as iconic characters like Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Darth Vader. Fun fact, today is called Star Wars Day because of the phrase turned pun, "May the Force be with you," used by characters in the movie.
How adorable is that? I love that. Star Wars is a legend, a classic among all.
4 years ago, I was stopped in a rural Pennsylvania area for speeding. And it was on May 4th. And then after, I didn't get a ticket, by the way, just got a warning and a lecture. At the end, he said, "May the 4th be with you." And I had no idea what the heck he was talking about. So that's my
It's better
May
than a
4th story.
ticket. Hilarious.
You got that right.